stop before you even think about disliking this video based on the title. Please bear with me, and by the end of the video, all will make sense, and you will be equipped to deal with the problem at hand and tell it like it is, as opposed to using euphemisms that have been accidentally created by your own side. So what is woke? What is wokeism? What is wokeness? And also, why is it a euphemism that has been largely adopted by boomer right-wingers and also a lot of normies of varying ages? Why is it that this word has took off? And why has it taken over certain other labels that are perhaps more in line with what these people actually think, and it's actually what they are? Well, don't worry, I'll explain that. First off, the origins of the term woke. Woke originally came about from Black Twitter. Now, Black Twitter, for those of you who don't know, it's not just Twitter where there's loads of black people necessarily. No, we're not talking about your average black person who goes on Twitter and likes funny videos. We're talking about black nationalists, leftists usually. And these people came up with the Ebonics term woke, which essentially just means awakening. You have awoke to the situation at hand, and you have expanded your consciousness. Basically, it's the red pill. Woke is the Ebonics version of the red pill. It is the black nationalist version of that. I don't know if there's even an opposite term to woke. And it soon spread not only from them to the rest of the left. And the first time I heard about this was watching a Sargon of Akkad's video a long time ago where he discusses that. I thought it was weird and thought, wait, woke? Why are they calling it woke? What is this? This isn't English. This is some weird crap that I'm hearing. But essentially, at the time, this is what it meant. This is what it actually means. It simply means you have awoken to see the world as it actually is, although of course, as we know, leftists don't view reality as it actually is. But nonetheless, that's what it is, and it quickly began to spread. It became a kind of a meme in and of itself beyond the left, and even people on the right started to use, oh, I'm woke to this question, I'm woke to that issue. And famously, I saw Alex Jones say to Joe Rogan that he and Joe are in the upper 90th percentile of being woke. But then it began to change somewhat. It began to transform, and boomers and normies took a hold of it as cultural Marxism began to be observed more by these people. What you've got to remember is a lot of these people, up until about 2016, they were completely oblivious to all this, and this is all new to them. Especially others who became woke or red-pilled to this issue way back in 2018. So to them, they look at woke and they think, what is this? Is this the ideology? Is this what they call it? Wokeism? What is this? This is stupid. This identity politics nonsense is terrible. But they're not calling it what it actually is. It has now become a euphemism for cultural Marxism. This is what these people are. They're cultural Marxists. Now, what is cultural Marxism? To be very, very simplistic with it, essentially it is Marxism, but rather than go through political institutions and try to enact change via revolution or maybe through elections, you decide to subvert the country or society that you're in via the culture. So alongside political institutions where you peacefully subvert it by essentially bringing your own people into that area and then essentially multiplying like a virus, they also do it to cultural institutions or subcultures. A prime example of them trying to do this is, of course, Gamergate. For years, they've been trying to subvert and take over the gaming community. They successfully took over the gaming industry and the games media industry, but they failed to take over the actual community, the people that actually, make this thing what it is with their money. And as a result of their failure, as a result of them encroaching too much on gamers' freedom and insulting their audience and attacking them and trying to push their politics onto them, the gamers essentially revolted, and that's what Gamergate was. Of course, it wasn't just a rebellion against the left, it was also an attempt to bring back journalistic ethics, because what these people were doing as they were trying to subvert this community, this subculture, was to destroy journalistic ethics and just ethics in general in the entire industry, and that's what initially Gamergate was trying to fix. So that's cultural Marxism. It's just Marxism trying to use the culture to essentially create the revolution that will bring about the communist society that they all want. But for some reason, a lot of these normie right-wingers want to call it wokeism and woke. And you also see it spread to non-woke / non-Marxist leftists. They also start using the term. But it's just a euphemism. And it's a euphemism that they don't actually know that they're using. They just think that's what it is. It's just another synonym. But it's not a synonym. And it's a word that they can hide behind. I think the left, I don't know if they're even aware of this. I don't know if they're doing it consciously, but they're hiding behind this word because they can just say, what do you mean woke, wokeism? wokeist. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. It's just a slang term. It's ebonics. That doesn't mean anything. To be honest, as much as you can point to things that are woke, they can still hide and say, well, I'm not woke, that's not me. I'm not like that, that person doesn't represent me. And you can't really grasp at what wokeism actually is because it's not an ideology. The ideology is cultural Marxism, which has its origins in the Frankfurt School. And if you actually start to use this term, cultural Marxism, or just Marxists to be short, they can't hide behind that. They can try, but you can just bring up all this evidence, all this historical evidence, all the things that they've been doing for the past couple of decades, and soon you will start seeing them squirm and try to worm their way out of it, but fail, because there's nothing to hide behind, the mask has slipped. And another thing is that woke has just become a dead meme. It's a buzzword now, and it's a right-wing buzzword. It used to be a left-wing one, and for whatever reason, our appropriation of that term has failed. Usually when we appropriate their memes, we do a damn good job at subverting them, but not this one. It's become old and tired, and I just think they need to come up with a better word, just like how the leftists need to read a better novel than Harry Potter. Look, I understand, guys, you've only just realised that all of this has been happening for the past couple of decades, and it's all coming so fast to you, but please, you've got to get up to speed. Wokeism doesn't exist. Woke is just a metaphor, just like how the red pill and the blue pill and the black pill, the white pill, the clear pill, whatever metaphor, they're just metaphors. It's a way to describe you expanding your horizons and seeing reality as what it really is, or what you think it really is, essentially. That's all it is. Or if it's the blue pill, it's simply burying your head in the sand like an ostrich. It's cultural Marxism that it really is, nothing more. And that's what we need to start using again, because that's what they are. And you just look silly using that term that boomers use. I honestly think it's an optics problem as well. It just shows that you're stuck in a certain amount of time in the last decade, and you just need to move on with the times as well, because there is an optics game, and some people just look silly using it. Even Douglas Murray uses it. I've got a book of his called The Madness of Crowds, and it says here, and I quote, "In The Madness of Crowds, Douglas Murray investigates the great derangement of woke culture and the rise of identity politics. There's no such thing as woke culture. There's no such thing as red pill culture, really, even though there's a red pill subreddit, or at least there used to be. It's not a culture around the red pill. The red pill is a metaphor. Woke is a metaphor. The culture that they're talking about is just communism. It's just a communist community on Twitter, and also the black nationalist as well. But anyway, I'm going on with myself. Wokeism doesn't exist. Woke doesn't exist. It's cultural Marxism and or black nationalism. Woke is a metaphor. Red pill is a metaphor. Please start using your terms properly and stop creating unintentional euphemisms for communists. But anyway, I hope this has been a very good PSA for you guys. I hope you've learnt something. I hope some of the newbies in the audience have learnt some history. And until next time, I'll see you all later.